Akira, for those who haven't had the pleasure of viewing, is a gritty exploration of youth, the death of our natural world order, and the fear of a nuclear holocaust. Much like another cyberpunk staple, Blade Runner, the story takes place in an alternate version of the year 2019, in a world ravaged by human corruption and the mistakes of our own ancestors. Teenagers ravage the streets in biker gangs, while adults tirelessly work to re-educate and reintegrate the society that was destroyed 3 decades prior. Youth that choose to protest against the government's sanctions are met with extreme violence, and an almost ironic twist of prioritization about who and what ideas should be met with capital force. This is where Neo-Tokyo's inner fear stems from. Force will be met with force, will be met with force, until the inevitable collapse of societal boundaries. This, inevitably, leads to the complete destruction of humanity. One of the other fine lines explored within the characters in this story is the fragility one faces during their time as a youth. Specifically, we see this in the dynamic between Tetsuo and Kaneda.
俺用に改良したバイクだ。ピリキーすぎてお前には無理だよ。そんなのに乗ってる方が気が知れねえぜ。乗れるさ。はは。欲しけりゃな。お前もでかいのぶんどりな。
Warped perceptions of maturity, and in Tetsuo's case, masculinity, can lead to a physical and mental change in the perceptions in your life. Kaneda has often been the man of his friend group. The guy's got the best drip, the best bike, and he's got an inability to let Tetsuo make his own mistakes, because he's always got to be the boss.
欲しがってんだろ、こいつを。招集かけた方がいいぜ。おい！待たせちゃ気の毒だからな。おい、金だ！
Tetsuo becomes angered with his inability to fight, just as his power begins to grow, leading him to a mistake all too familiar in young men: a confusion of masculinity with immaturity. Tetsuo believes his new strength is a sign of his new position in the pecking order, rather than a destruction of his own individual identity. With this, he denies things such as toys and milk, or his responsibilities, in favor of a destruction of his innocence, his fighting with the other children. His refusal to accept his immaturity shatters his youth and inevitably shatters himself, leading to a broken shell of a man, or what once was a boy. And as all young men have this same experience, the more that Tetsuo realizes that he is not as mature as he would like to be, the more he reverts back to his old, immature self. Or this big, fat, disgusting fucking baby thing. No, I don't know. I'd like to think of myself as a cheery guy, but, you know, I'm just naturally drawn to these movies with deep themes on humanity. Most of the time they don't really have a positive ending, but the message I take away from Tetsuo's tragic end is a bleak reality of society's expectations, especially with young adults, and when and how they should start being contributing, mature members of society. Youth is already a fragile mindset that should be nurtured and cherished, not fast-passed and confused with an individual's responsibilities in society, or in this case, the forcing of these children's innocence to become weapons of war. Tetsuo felt that he should be on the same level as his friends, physically and emotionally. But by doing this, he ignored his own individual merits and relationships. It is sad that society still expects so much from the individual, and with our growing relationship with technology, it's only going to continue to perpetuate these comparisons. We must constantly remind ourselves that we are good enough, and that the only person that you should be comparing yourself to is the person that you were a year ago today, and how much you've grown in that time. I love Akira. I love you. God bless.
新しく入ってきたやつにはさ、いつもああなんだよ。今日来たんだろ。俺もやられたけど、でもさ、本当は弱いんだぜあいつ。僕は鉄夫、島鉄夫。実はさ、俺も来たばっかなんだ。